I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. I've got a free winner for Thursday. It's on the Toronto Raptors and the Miami Heat. Almost inverted the cities. But anyway, we're going to have that in a moment. If you want more free winners like this, plus, in addition, I'm going to tell you where some of my metrics point towards tonight. Please give a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you're not familiar with me, maybe you stumbled upon this. I've been a professional sports handicapper since 1988 on the score phones. I frankly know what the hell I am doing. You definitely want to tell me, even my free picks, but certainly my premium picks at OffshoreInsiders.com, and follow me at Offshore Insider. Yeah, there's no S at the end of that because of character limitations on X, Twitter, whatever the heck you call it, and also other socials as well, Instagram, TikTok. Follow me at Offshore Insider, but the website itself is OffshoreInsiders.com. All right, we got a look-ahead line on this game. Toronto minus 5.5, 231.5. The opener, Toronto minus 4, 236. The best lines, shopping around, I like to use Odds Logic. Toronto minus 4.5, minus 104. And Miami plus 4.5, plus 100. The best totals, over 239.5 at plus 100, or under 239.5 at minus 104. So the look-ahead lines and the opening lines have it much lower than the current one. We like to use them as power ratings, and at least that metric and only that metric, or well, those metrics would say to bet the under, as it's been bet way up. But you got to keep a line on it, especially late in the year. The totals are very, very volatile. Splits on the side, 84% of the tickets, 89% on the money on the Raptors. The splits on the total, 60% of bets, and money on the over. All right, projections. DunksAndThrees, really good one of my top sharps that I like to consult with, who really monitors power ratings. He really likes the DunksAndThrees for the NBA. It's got Toronto winning by 116 to 115. Massey ratings, Toronto, 119, 115. And I should mention everyone's got Toronto winning. Action Network, 3.5 and 237.5. Sportsline has them winning by 9, which is their strongest side or total when it comes to the projections. As far as the computer ratings are concerned, we really like Sportsline more for baseball, but they're pretty good in the NBA, especially as corroborating stuff, and we combine all these and some other power ratings. They have the Raptors covering 64% of the simulations, going under 63. Now, when you have a favorite with 16 or more losses, and if the previous season meeting was at home, that favorite is 2, 1, 2, 8, 1, 7, 7, 9, and 65, up 171.1 units. That, of course, would favor Toronto, but in the name of equal time, it's even better when the team we're betting on is in revenge, which is not the case here, but even if they're not in revenge, still a good play. Home favorites that have gone cumulatively well under the last 3 games, which means it can buy a combined 30 points or more, the metrics we've got, are a very good 633, 468, 19, up 118.20 units. That, of course, would also obviously favor Toronto. Now, the previous 2 years was hitting right around 500, but it's making a nice bounce back this year. It's 65 and 48. And yes, as we were studying the lines, etc., I said, wait a minute, you got one team that's going way, 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 way under the total over the last 3 games, and yet we have a very high total. There's got to be an edge there, right? There really isn't. When we looked it up. Now, remember what we tell you, maybe one of my golden rules or a majority of my systems would kind of fit under counterintuitive. You would think that it would be just the opposite. A lot of these. Essentially, what we have is if you take the points for and points against of each team, average it out, if the total is much higher, then it looks like it, quote unquote, should be, based on the criterion I just gave you, you would actually bet the over. Got to do what the odds makers tell you. Well, in this case, the line is low. Based on the criterion I gave you, listen to what the odds makers tell you. It actually goes under 1941. 1539 and 127. Now I'm going to give you a couple free picks. I said only one free pick. In reality, I'm going to give you two free picks. Toronto minus the 4.5, and an additional pick. I'm going to give you the Knicks and the Celtics to go under the total. That criterion I just gave you. The points for and the points against of each team would tell you that this total is too low. Now, the knee-jerk reaction would be, well, then you got to bet, if it's too low, you got to bet the over, right? No. Listen to what the odds makers are telling you. I told you back in 1988, veteran handicapper, the Dutchman, who was also a bookmaker and whatnot, so he's been on both sides. He would always say to me, the odds are telling you something. There's a message in every line. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Well, we found out when computer software comes out, yes. If a total looks too high, you actually bet the over. If the total looks too low, you bet the under. We're using the odds makers' knowledge against them. That's a little bit of an oversimplification. I want to give you an idea of just some of the other stuff that I use, my metrics. We talk about the luck factor. Now, the luck factor, again, I always knew, even before computers came out and could heavily corroborate what I was saying, that the straight-up records are one of the most deceptive and most overrated. They're actually most deceptive when it comes to ATS handicapping. Well, fortunately, I believe it was started by Ken Palm in college basketball, and other sites did it in other sports. Team Rankings, we think, does a very good job of, essentially, you use advanced metrics and you look at, it tells you which teams have deceptive records. So teams that have been lucky, that is, they have more wins than the numbers suggest they should, the luckier teams are going to be overvalued. The unluckier teams are going to be undervalued. Lakers have been the luckiest team in the NBA for a good part of the year. Golden State, strong luck factor, luck gap pick. There's a 9.6 combined difference between the two teams. So according to the luck factor, Golden State would be very undervalued against an overvalued Lakers team, and truthfully is more so the Lakers being overvalued. We talked about the dunks and threes, and again, take a look at what your line is right now. As I record this, the Bulls-Wizards total is 248. That would be an under. 235 is projected by Dunks and Threes, which is good. Another top power line has it at only 240. But late in the year, like I said, the totals will go a little bit nuts. So take a look at what your line is. And also the top public bet right now, the biggest consensus. And as I said, that is based on the number of bets. We've explained many times that I want to fade Joey Bag of Donuts. So the number of bets is more important than the money. The top public bet, as of this recording, would be the Chicago Bulls. Hence, based on a lot of people would say that would make the Wizards the top contrarian play. So we use stuff like this each and every day for every single pick. So much stuff goes into all of our picks. But I did give you those two official free picks on both the Raptors and then the Knicks to go under. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That tells me you want more great information like this daily.